Students, now we will be studying about the kinds of sentences and kinds of clauses. This is chapter number 10 in your grammar textbook. The name of the chapter is Kinds of Sentences and Clauses. In chapter number 8 and 9, we have already covered what are sentences, what are clauses, what are phrases, and the kinds of phrases. Okay, so now we will concentrate once again on sentences and clauses. Then we will go ahead and see the different types. Okay. A group of words that contains a subject and a predicate and makes complete sense by itself is a sentence. Okay, quite simple. A group of words that contains a subject and a predicate and is a part of the sentence is called a clause. Okay, so this is the difference between them. Clause is basically a part of the sentence. A sentence can have one clause, a sentence can have more than one clause, two clause, three clause. Okay, that's how the sentence get larger, and there can be a main clause, there can be different types of clauses, subordinate clause. We will be studying about it. Okay, the predicate must contain a finite word. They are telling this about the sentences, that the sentence has a subject and a predicate. So the predicate must have a finite verb. That is, the verb must relate to a subject in the sentence. Okay. So with the help of the verb, we can tell how many clauses are there. How? Let's see it ahead. Kinds of sentences. A sentence may contain one or more verbs, that is one or more than one clause. So the number of verbs is basically corresponding to the number of clauses in that sentence. Okay. Simple sentences. This is the first type of sentences. The men were constructing a dam. The men, the subject, were constructing a dam is the predicate. Okay, so over here were is the verb. There is a single verb, so this means this is a single clause. Okay, so it is a simple sentence. When there's only one clause, it is a simple sentence. Hardy is happy. So Hardy is the subject, is the verb. Okay, is happy is the predicate. Okay, so it is having only one verb, so it is only one clause. And one clause means it's a simple sentence. A sentence which contains only one clause is known as a simple sentence. The second type of sentence that we have is a complex sentence. We have studied the first type, simple sentence. Now what is a complex sentence? A sentence may contain more than one clause. Okay, so more than one clause means there is more than one verb. Okay. The girls sang a song that everybody liked. How many verbs are there? Sang is a verb, liked is a verb. So there are two verbs. The sentence contains two verbs, sang, liked. It therefore contains two clauses. Okay, so the first clause is the girls sang a song. The next clause is that everybody liked. Okay, so the girls sang a song is making complete sense. So this is a main clause or principal clause. Okay. The other clause which is not making complete sense, that everybody liked, is a dependent clause or subordinate clause, because that everybody liked depends upon this clause. Okay, so it is a dependent clause or subordinate clause. Now this is the second example of complex sentence. Hardy, who is Laurel's friend, is happy. Okay, so in this sentence, how many verbs do we have? This sentence contains two verbs. Hardy, who is a verb. Laurel's friend is a verb. Happy. Okay, so there are two verbs, is and is. Okay, so it contains two clauses. Which are the two clauses? Hardy is happy is one clause. Who is Laurel's friend is another clause. So there are these two clauses. Okay, so Hardy is happy is making complete sense. So this is the main clause. Okay, the main or principal clause. Who is Laurel's friend? This looks like it is dependent on some other words. That is, Hardy is happy. It cannot stand on its own. So it is a dependent or subordinate clause. Now the next one, clause make complete sense by itself. Clause who is Laurel's friend does not. So it is saying the first clause was making complete sense, but the second clause is not making complete sense. That is how we can identify which is a main clause, that is principal clause, which is a subordinate clause or dependent clause. Look at this sentence. Hardy, who is Laurel's friend, fell into a ditch which was full of mud. Okay, now in this sentence, first of all, this sentence contains three verbs. Let's look at the verbs. Hardy, who is a verb. Laurel's friend, fell is a verb. Into a ditch, which was is a verb, full of mud. So we have three verbs over here. Is, fell and was. So it contains three clauses. Which are the three clauses? Hardy fell into a ditch. Who is Laurel's friend? Which was full of mud. Now if you look at them, you will come to know which is a main clause and which is a subordinate clause. Hardy fell into a ditch, main clause, making complete sense. Who is Laurel's friend? Not making complete sense. It is dependent on some other clause. So this is a subordinate clause. Which was full of mud? Again, subordinate clause or dependent clause. Such a sentence which consists of one main clause and one or more than one subordinate clause is called a complex sentence. Okay, so let's quickly get back to the first one. One was simple sentence. Simple sentence contains one clause. Okay, that is one verb. Okay, then the next one is complex sentence. Complex sentence contains one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. Okay. Now the third type of sentences are compound sentences. A sentence which contains two or more verbs may contain two or more main or principal clauses. Now what they're trying to say is when you have two or more verbs, then you have two or more clauses, right? But then they can happen to be the main clauses. In which case? In the case of compound sentences. Here we will find the main clauses. So if there are two verbs or more verbs, then probably that many main clauses will be there. Hardy is happy and Laurel is sad. In this sentence contains two verbs. Is, and so contains two clauses. Hardy is happy is one clause, makes full sentence, makes full sense. It's got a subject, predicate, verb, makes sense. So it is a main clause. And is a conjunction joining the two clauses. Laurel is sad, again making full sense. So there are two main clauses joined with a conjunction. Each of the two clauses make complete sense. They are joined together by the conjunction and. As I told you, such clauses which are parts of the same sentence, such main clauses, if they consist in a same sentence and each of which makes complete sense by itself, are known as coordinate clauses. Why are they known as coordinate clauses? Because the meaning of coordinate is equal. So they are equal in respect with their sense, making sense in respect to their importance. Usually what happens if there is a main clause, it is of more importance than a subordinate clause, because subordinate clause is dependent on the main clause. Here both of them are independent. They both are equally powerful in the sentence. Okay, so that's why they are known as coordinate clauses. Another example of which one we are studying right now? Compound sentence, the third one. Bread is good but cake is better. In here also bread is good, a complete sentence, right, with a subject and a predicate and a verb. Cake is better, so here also it's making complete sense and is joined by a conjunction but. So it is basically, these are coordinate clauses. Okay. One of the bird's wings was broken and it could not fly and the little girl felt sad. In this sentence, how many verbs are there? Let's check. One of the bird's wings was broken. So it was broken and it could not fly and the little girl felt sad. So we have over here was, could not fly, and felt sad. So felt. And so it contains three clauses. Okay. So let's get into the detail of these three clauses. Okay. The clauses are joined by conjunction and. Each clause makes complete sense by itself. So all three are coordinate clauses. Okay, so here they are talking about the previous example. Once again we look at it. Okay, here they are telling us they are joined by and. One of the bird's wing was broken. Okay, complete sentence. Then we have the conjunction and. It could not fly. Complete sense. Then we have the conjunction and. The little girl felt sad. Okay, so all the main clauses are basically getting connected with the conjunction and. Such a sentence which contains two or more coordinate clauses is known as compound sentence. Okay, so when you have coordinate clauses, equal status clauses, equal main clauses, equally important clauses, then probably it is a compound sentence. So some call a compound sentence consisting of two coordinate clauses a double sentence, and a compound sentence consisting of more than two coordinate clauses a multiple sentence. So sometime depending upon how many clauses are there, we call it a double sentence instead of a compound sentence, or a multiple sentence. Okay, so this was about compound sentences. Okay, we have started simple sentence, one clause. Then we have a complex sentence in which we have one main clause and maybe one or more subordinate clauses. Then we have compound sentence in which we have coordinate clauses, main clauses, important clauses. Okay, now we have compound complex sentences. Okay, a sentence may contain two or more coordinate clauses and one or more than one subordinate clauses. So basically it's a mixture of two or more main clauses and two or more subordinate, one or more subordinate clauses. Let's consider the example. Okay, so here in the example they are saying Arka, who is my friend, lives in Kolkata, and Ram, who is also a friend of mine, lives in Mumbai. Okay, the sentence consists of four clauses. How do we know that? We can see the verb. Okay, is a verb over here. Okay, then lives in Mumbai. Okay, then we have is again over here and lives again over here. So we will basically have the clauses Arka lives in Mumbai, in Kolkata. Who is my friend is another clause. Ram lives in Mumbai, who is also a friend of mine. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Arka lives in Kolkata, who is my friend. Ram lives in Mumbai, who is also my friend. So these are the four clauses. Let's get into their details. Arka lives in Mumbai. We have a subject, we have a predicate making complete sense, main clause. Who is my friend? We have a subject, we have a predicate but not making complete sense. It is a subordinate clause. Okay, here also subject, predicate, Ram lives in Mumbai makes complete sense, main clause. Who is also my friend? It is not making complete sense. So basically it is a subordinate clause. Okay. So two clauses make complete sense by itself, but two clauses don't make complete sense by itself. So that is two main clauses and two subordinate clauses. So clauses 1 and 3 are coordinate clauses, main clauses, and clause 1 and 4 are subordinate clauses. Okay. So here this was the example. A sentence which consists of two or more coordinate clauses and one or more than one subordinate clause is called a compound complex sentence. Okay, so I hope compound complex sentence is also clear, where you have two or more coordinate main clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. Okay, so there is the next example of complex sentences with two or more subordinate clauses coordinating to one another. Okay, so this is another type of sentence in which you have a complex sentence having a main clause and you have subordinate clauses coordinating to each other. Let's see how. This example, Rita lost the handbag which Deepa had given her, in which she kept all her jewelry. Okay, so you have the main, here let me see the verbs first. Lost, had given, kept. Okay, so there are three verbs. Lost, had given, kept are the three verbs. So the sentence has three clauses. Okay, so if we study the clauses, Rita lost the handbag which Deepa had given her, in which she kept all the jewelry. So we have Rita lost the handbag as the main clause. Okay, then which Deepa had given her, not making complete sense. So it is a subordinate clause. In which she kept all her jewelry, subordinate clause. How are these two coordinating each other? Because they have been joined by the conjunction and. Okay, so clauses 1 is the main clause. Clauses 2 and 3, which describe the noun handbag, are subordinate clause. They also coordinate to each other and join together by the conjunction and. So they are basically equal to each other. They are equally important to each other. That's why they are called as coordinate clause, and they are also subordinate clause. Okay, because they are not making complete sense. Okay, so the sentence as a whole is a complex sentence because it contains one main clause and two subordinate clause coordinating each other. Okay, so over here it is not a compound sentence because the coordinate clause are subordinate clauses and none of them make complete sense by itself. So they are saying you cannot call them compound sentences. If you remember, in compound sentences you had the main clauses, they were not subordinate clauses, so you can still call them something else. Such a sentence may at best be called a complex compound sentence. So we'll have an idea that the complexity is because of the subordinate clause coordinating each other and not the main clauses. So it cannot be called a compound sentence, but it can be called a complex compound sentence, but never a compound sentence.